Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and titillating sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, welcome to a Hump Day edition of Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Nice to have you with us. Wherever you're listening in this great land of ours, this land of Romania, no, the USA, come on in and get heard. And let's talk some sports. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, quarter toilet ball, chess, checkers, rugby, cricket. Whatever. I don't want to hear about the economy or politics or horrible wars. We get enough of that. Don't we get enough of that as it is? Let's talk about what's really important, the NHL. Let's talk about, why you guys say it like that? Let's talk about the NBA. How about baseball? That's right. It all starts today, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, right here in San Francisco, as the Yankees will play the Giants. And as always, we're so used to football, and then baseball starts, and you're 0-1, and you think the season's over. But the old adage, games you win in April are games that you might not have to win in September. They all count the same. And my buddy always said, there's too many games. There's not enough. They all matter, especially with 3 wild cards and everything else that's going into it. All right. You can watch me do this show on sportsbyline.com. No, that's where you write me an email, rick@sportsbyline.com. You can listen to it. You can watch me on twitch.tv and YouTube as well. You can get in that away. And as we stream along, we have some guests: Kate Daggett, Amanda Cleveland, Thomas Gilbert, Ryan Duffy, a veritable Hall of Fame of guests. If you want to tweet at me, it's at Rick Tittle. Come on, bud.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right, thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast, around the world on American Forces. Kate Daggett is going to, damn it, Janet Daggett. Gotta be careful here. She's going to join us in the next segment and talk about a new app called Quartz app. Quartz? Quartz. Did you say quartz? No, quartz. But this no, but this segment is wide open, and one pitch, and people are already like, "What it's going?" I was just talking to Dominic Jimenez in the break, Giants fan, and he goes, "They kept this guy who's a 179 hitter. It looks like his name's Oliva." He says Oliva. Sometimes you have to like, oh, okay, whatever you say, but. We are here for you. You want to get in. You want to talk some sports. This is what we're doing. So, normally the college basketball vacancy isn't a huge deal. I know ASU is making a big deal over the fact that Bobby Hurley is out and Randy Bennett is in, and good for Randy Bennett to go to a big school. And it's got to feel good to. Just after 25 years, and, he had been at other small schools before that, but after more than 30 years coaching, to be the main guy at school at the age of 63. And this isn't like being a football coach. And I know Lou Holtz and Joe Paterno, can I say his name? There are some guys who coached till they were very old, Bear Bryant. basketball, you can do it into your 70s these days, I think. It's not a big deal. But I bring it up because Hubert Davis, who's there on the court for the Wagner shot, he is out as the Tar Heels head coach. They decided to move on from him when they lost the Virginia Commonwealth, and I don't think Hubert Davis helped himself when he basically said he got out coached. But there's been a lot of reaction. This is why I'm bringing it up. After 5 consecutive 20-win seasons and then squandering that 19-point lead. But remember, if you're at St. Mary's, 5 consecutive 20 seasons is awesome, and you will always work there if you want to work there, yeah? In Chapel Hill, 20 wins is the bare minimum. You have to do that. Now, what are you going to do after that? And you might remember that run to that national championship game in his first year with R.J. Davis and some of those other guys, and a couple of big wins over Duke, but in the last 4 years, going out in the first or second round. So Davis's son Elijah was one of the first to react. He posted himself father on Instagram with a scribbled out North Carolina word across his jersey. And Elijah Davis was born and raised in Chapel Hill. He was a walk-on after being at Division III Lynchburg, Virginia, before joining his dad with the Tar Heels, and he redshirted last season and barely played this year. And he said, right where we need to be, it's his plan and his plan only, capital H. God. And then you get the 5-star freshman Caleb Wilson, the leading scorer this year, broke his thumb during practice ahead of March Madness and missed all the games. And that was it for a team that went 26. And Caleb said, thank you, everything, Coach Davis, one of the best men and coaches in my life. Former Tar Heels player Brady Manick, player in that 2022 final run, he said, Davis was the reason I came to Carolina. And then there was a picture of Davis and assistant coaches, and Manick wrote, quote, my dogs, with a W. And apparently what happened was, according to CBS Sports, Davis was called to a meeting with Bubba Cunningham, the outgoing AD, as well as the incoming AD, Steve Newmark, last night. And then it was then and there that they were told he was being terminated. And then players and staff were summoned for a 9 p.m. meeting. Bubba Cunningham said this was not an easy decision because of Hubert's character and all he has given to the program, but we must move in a way that allows our team to compete more consistently at an elite level. So, like I said, Final Four runs, national title game, loss, 20 wins in a row. That ain't enough at North Carolina. You know, there's just certain programs, like if you look at Marcus Freeman, the head coach of Notre Dame football team, lost his first 2 games last year, and everybody was like, well, you have to fire him. And then they won 10 in a row, and everyone's saying, they're better than Miami, they should be in the playoffs. But, yeah, there's a very short leash for some of these programs. And that's why sometimes you can get myopic. And, you know, I just think here locally when Roger fumbled, not immediately after, but then after another year, George Seifert got fired because winning the division and having the best regular season record in NFL history, that's not good enough. And then they went to the doldrums. Anybody remember Terry Donahue and Mike Nolan and Mooch and some of these other guys that they couldn't figure it out until they got Jim Harbaugh. Now they're doing well with Kyle Shanahan. But, yeah, I look at the A's, Tony La Russa, it's like, yeah, we'll go to the playoffs. But, you know, you've been here a long time. You lost 2 World Series. Well, we won one. Yeah, but Roberto Alomar, that run off of Eck. That was kind of the last straw. And then they get rid of him, and they're like, wait, what did we do? What happened? And then you got, the Ken Makas, and then luckily Art Howe. But you get to a point where, I mean, it's really for the first time in, I guess, 80 years, North Carolina says they're going to hire a non-Tar Heel. This is the rumor. And so Davis, if you look at 5 years, his record was 125-54. He said, short and sweet, 3 sentences. Quote, tonight I was let go by the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. My desire was to continue to coach here. This opportunity has truly been such a blessing. Now, the interesting thing is, I always remember Hubert Davis as the guy who the fans, I don't want to say hated, but he was kind of like the guy blamed for everything. And there were a lot of people like, why is Hubert Davis even playing? That tells you how old I am. I remember Hubert Davis very well as a player. And they're like, he's overrated. So then when he became coach, I was like, you mean the guy they don't like? Well, they liked him well enough. But that is a sweet cherry of a job. And that is, the North Carolina men's basketball team. And so they obviously don't have an internal candidate or an eternal one. The Lord won't come down. So this isn't like a Mickey McConnell, oh, Randy left, okay, you do it. Now, you're going to see but you're going to see a lot of names bandied about here. Because as it is, getting to the tournament, maybe getting to the second round, no, that's St. Mary's stuff. We're North Carolina. Come on back. We'll have Kate Daggett.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved one the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexibility to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals resolve your case and stop collection action against you. Even if you're audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. Again, for the last time, that's 800-943-9215. Have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book with a free guide to publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time. Time that you could spend writing your book or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Well, if you want to get out there with your racket, your tennis racket, you want to play pickleball, padel, whatever else, a lot of times the courts are taken, or maybe somebody's hogging the court, and that's why you want to reserve the court. And growing up, when I was playing tennis in the 70s, you just wrote your name on a chalkboard and then hoped nobody would erase it. There's got to be a better way. And there is now. Joining us is the lovely and talented Kate Daggett, here to talk about the Courts app, which is going to be introduced in the tri-state area. Kate, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit more about this innovation, please.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rick. It's great to be here. And I, too, have a black belt in keeping it real. So maybe one day
we can fight it
we
out.
could spar.
Sure.
Yeah, we could spar. So, so Courts app is live in the New York tri-state area, and it's actually we have a bunch of clubs on our app scattered around the U.S. But in the coming months, we're going to have many more. And courtsapp.com, you can go online, you can download the app in both app stores. But its purpose is to free the game of friction. So we are putting on as many courts across pickleball, paddle, tennis, badminton, squash, racquetball, all of them online, and making them accessible for anyone to find, book, pay, and play. You know, marketplaces are booming. People are used to using marketplaces to get what they want when they want it. And we are taking that technology and we're making it available and accessible for all of racket and paddle sports. So, as an example, when was the last time that you called a restaurant to make a reservation?
Yeah, you just do it with your phone. It's true.
Yeah.
And
So we're doing that.
By the way, kudos on pronouncing the N in badminton. Very good.
It's really hard, right? It's like a conscious choice to get that N.
Yeah. Orangutan. You know,
right?
Yeah,
right.
No tang and no sherbet.
No.
Sherbet.
Sherbet. It's kind of like yin and yang.
Very good.
Well.
No yin yang.
Yeah.
It's yin and yang.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
you are. I think we were separated at birth, Kate.
We may have been.
Well,
you know, it's kind of crazy. You mentioned at the beginning. Sorry, I'm interviewing you. I'll show up in a second.
For sure.
What's kind of interesting is there are still clubs, as you noted, like when you started playing tennis. You'd write your name on a chalkboard. There are still tennis clubs who use chalkboards and chalk to manage their court inventory. It's kind of crazy to me how football clubs have really adopted technology and are very open and receptive to like trying new ways of filling their court inventory. But a lot of tennis clubs have this like legacy and history, and they kind of like doing things the way that they like doing them, you know, with the chalk and the chalkboard. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
They still exist.
Well, you know, tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and of course the latter two, there's more room. I always think of when I'm in Manhattan, I see tennis courts of Annie Hall style sort of built out roof like into the Hudson or the East River. How are we doing with court on the island?
Oh my God, it's impossible, right? You need to know someone, you need to be someone, and you need to have you need to have access. It's really hard. Like there's only so much space in New York City, and there's never going to be more space in New York City. However, Randall's Island, the John McEnroe Center on Randall's Island, is on Courts app and is available and able to be booked. But New York City is a tricky one. It's just there's so much. There's a limit to what's possible, and tennis takes up a lot of space. But we're making progress getting more clubs online in the New York area. I think Queens and Brooklyn and Long Island and New Jersey and Westchester are a little bit easier because there are more of them. But New York City Island itself, it's a tricky one.
The rise of pickleball during the pandemic, and I've interviewed pickleball stars, and now you can spend a whole ton of money on a giant ping pong paddle, and play pickleball with it. And pickleball is fun. I always find it a teeny bit frustrating because someone who grew up playing tennis, the wiffle ball doesn't really bounce. I keep expecting it to bounce, and I lean down and go get it. But my point is, during the pandemic, there were a lot of clubs out here in California that turned, 8 tennis courts into 16 pickleball courts. And do you see pickleball rising, plateauing, or is it coming back down now?
It's rising. It still had pretty substantial growth in 2025 and continues to grow in 2026. I do think it's kind of like a gate. I'm personally obsessed with tennis. I started playing 3 years ago. I consider myself a tennis obsessive, and I can't get enough of it. And any chance I can get, I will play. And I think pickleball is kind of like a gateway into the racket sports foray. Like it's a bit more accessible, it's a bit more available, but it is still growing rapidly. And I think it's awesome because it helps us insulate all racket sports. The more people we get on court, the more people we get to convert into new and emerging sports, like padel. I think padel is the fastest growing racket sport in the U.S. right now. It grew like 50% last year, and it's kind of like a hybrid of a lot of these sports, like tennis meets racquetball meets pickleball, and I think the more people that play, the more we isolate all of racket and paddle sports, and then the more, like racket curious people get, like, oh, pickleball was cool, I'd like to try tennis, or now there's a sport altogether called tipty. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it gets played on a pickleball court, and there are just so many new ways of getting on court and participating with that are really fun. Although I'm with you, I'm primarily a tennis player, and I find not only the ball to be kind of strange with pickleball, how it doesn't totally bounce, it just like reverberates off the ground, but also the length of the racket. The paddle is so much shorter than the racket, so getting all of those proportions right is kind of tricky when you're switching from one to the other.
By the way, you read my mind once, because in the last week I had the CEO of Paddle, and then about a month ago I had the inventor Tipty, the guy who used to Tennis Channel, and I gave him
Bellamy.
Yeah, I had him props because I said the bug, which is a T, which is also like where that the ad court and it's lines on a tennis court. I go, the T is so well done, and he said, "Oh, I spent years trying to find the ultimate bug, and that was it." Anyway, what do you think about Tipty? Because I'm tennis and racquetball. That's about it. But I mean, am I missing out on this Tipty craze?
Well, have you played it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, so no.
Okay. All right. So I got to play it last week at Racket X, which was super fun. I also got to play paddle for the first time, which was also that might become a new obsession of mine as well. Tipty is fantastic for a few reasons, particularly for someone like me, and I will just assume you as well. It's played on the court, so it's a little bit, you don't have quite as much court to cover, so there's as much, sprinting and killing yourself to make it to a ball.
Mm-hmm.
The ball is foam. It's made of foam, so it's quiet. So if you have pickleball facilities in your neighborhood and you're sick of hearing the clink, 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 you can ask to get that converted to tipsy, and the ball is soft, and so there's no virtually silent. Which also I realize sound is so much of the game to me. Knowing how quickly the ball is coming and responding based on sound is a huge part of how I play. I didn't realize this until I played tipsy, and it's quiet, so you don't really have that sensory input to help know when to turn and when to swing. But it's played with a racket that has strings. So there's familiarity of something like tennis or racquetball where you have a racket that feels somewhat familiar to you on a smaller footprint, and the ball is soft. So it's better on your joints. It's virtually quiet, and it's really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think it could very well become a big craze, particularly for pickleball clubs that want to be able to maximize their inventory, make sure that they're getting more utilization out of their courts. This is a completely new sport and also quirky rules. If the ball hits the net, if you hit the ball into the net, you can still play that ball. You just can't hit it with the racket. You can kick it or swoop it with your hand. So it feels a bit more multidimensional and a little bit left of center in a good way.
All right. Well, we are out of time. Courts App, CORTSAPP, not tomato. Courts App. Where do we get it, Kate?
You can get it at courtsapp.com and on in both app stores for Android and Apple. It's available. Please download it. More courts coming online throughout the coming months, and it's going to make everyone's lives a heck of a lot easier. You can play when you want to play. Download it now.
All right. Well, when you make it to California, come on out. Have you in
I
the
would
studio.
love that. We can spar. Great.
All right. Thank you. Kate Daggett, everybody. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back.
In the beginnings, what keeps the planet spinning? Was from the beginning.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything in this some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Okay, let's have a little fun. Do you use the expensive blue pill to perform better? Are you thinking about it? So what if we can promise you results for less than $1 a pill? Okay, so the same pills can cost you $30 or more at a pharmacy. And our Better Blue Pill works for less than $1 a pill. You'll save $29 or more per pill. And right now, we'll give you 120 blue pills for just $99. Have a little fun and call right now. Get 120 of our Better Blue Pills for just $99. Don't overpay for the other blue pills. Call Steelman right now and get the Better Blue Pill for less than $1 a pill. Call 1-800-BUY-BLUE, 1-800-BUY-BLUE. It's easy to remember. 1-800-BUY-BLUE. That's 1-800-BUY-BLUE. And thanks for calling.
Packages start at $9.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
Ahoy, matey! Is that a new phone? Aye, Captain. That's my new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE. Must have paid a pretty doubloon for that. Nay, 0 down from Cricket Wireless. Oh, you plundered it. Nay, again, 'tis a monthly payment plan with BreadPay. You're shivering me timbers. I shiver you not. The first payment is next month. Aye, that's not a plunder. That's a steal.
Get a new Samsung Galaxy S25 FE for $0 when you pay over time with BreadPay. Now you're on Cricket.
Subject to approval of credit application. BreadPay loans are made by Community Capital Bank and Bread Financial Company.
I'm not insightful enough to be a critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
Why can't you say you talk to me? You're already thinking about someone else. When it comes home, your mind is on and on. But I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. So now you wait for a spark.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right. Thanks, I think. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show Amanda Cleveland here to talk about something very novel, if you like, from Thrift Books. It's the novel Knockout. It is a bracket-style showdown celebrating books. It's very interesting. Amanda, welcome to the show. Tell us more, please.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm so excited to talk about books because, yes, Novel Knockout is the competition hosted by Thrift Books, a bracketing system very familiar to sports audiences, where instead of teams, it is individual books competing to become the year's champion.
Now, what is the competition? How do we decide who wins?
Great question. Readers decide who wins. The Thrift Books audience decides by voting via email. So if anybody wants to be involved, you go to thriftbooks.com. You'll sign up for an account, sign up for our emails, and you'll be able to vote in a new poll nearly every day. You are picking between 2 books at a time. We have our bracket system separated into 4 genres. We have mystery, sci-fi and fantasy, romance, and classics. Each little subdivision is until there's one champion.
So it's kind of like a dog show. You can have the working dog and the police dogs and the toy poodles, but then in the end, you do need a best in show, don't you?
Indeed, that's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. You're looking for the best show.
So how do we go about picking? How many books are there originally in the knockout?
This year we are doing 16 books. We've been running this competition for about 6 years now, and we have had years where we did a full list of 64, but this year we did narrow it down to 16 books. And we do it via a process that is actually very similar to seeding that you do with teams. We are looking into bestsellers, we are looking into sales history, we're looking into external social media posts about the books, the popularity. We're looking into all of that to decide to represent the genres each year.
So you're just saying, let's go straight to the Sweet 16. Let's just go to the good ones.
Yes, we did this year, yeah. And we are seeing great results. People are very excited about it.
Well, it's interesting, too, because there are some movies, sorry, I should say, I was a Freudian slip, books here that a lot of people know as movies, like The Hobbit and Dune and To Kill a Mockingbird and The Shining as well. What are you sometimes you'll read a book and then you'll see a movie, and invariably the person who read the book goes, they're doing it wrong. Very rarely does someone say, very rarely does somebody say, oh, this is much better than the book version.
Oh, yes, that's incredibly rare. But yes, the book to screen power, we see it in these polls say. It is not nothing. Partially, it's part of just the popularity of a book. Once a book reaches that critical mass, it tends to get a movie version adaptation or a series adaptation. I think that helps, or at least is part of the seeding even. Is there a movie? It helps bring it to the general population.
Maybe you can help me with this, Amanda, because I'm a voracious reader of nonfiction, and not that I'm anything against fiction, but histories and biographies, travelogues, things like that. And I have 3 huge bookshelves of books that I've read. I've gone back and read a few, but the other day I was reading all of them, and I was thinking about the Seinfeld line where he said, "Why would you keep them once you've read them?" And I'm like, well, of course I'm keeping them. And then I thought, well, maybe he's right. Are you on my side? Of course you keep them.
Of course I am. So I've worked at thrift books for 10 years now. I'm a person who's worked at a bookstore for 10 years. So I am, of course, going to be on the side of keep them, though I will, of course, plug that if you do not want to keep them anymore, Thrift Books has something called buyback, and you can see if we'd be interested in purchasing them. But I am very much a book hoarder. I like to call them book dragons because the way dragons hoard gold, just books instead.
Nice. I worked at a Barnes & Noble for a couple months. Just love the smell of books and being around them. But I was noticing the other day some of the categories or subgenres, whatever, and the one teen paranormal romance. And I was thinking that must be the rise of that, the Twilight series.
Exactly.
What is it about 14-year-old girls and vampires?
Well, you're talking to the right person. I was one of those 14 girls, and I can tell you, I think it is something about just the unknown, the idea that there is a secret second world that you're special enough to become a part of. That's always the fantasy in those fantasies. We actually, I would say, see that it's not vampires, but we see it in some of the novel knockout picks right now. Our sci-fi and fantasy section ended up with things like The Hobbit, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Dune, all very much these same in one theme. I think it's just a very popular fantasy for fantasy in general to be something fun, something special.
Right. And, it's funny because I think a lot of times Stephen is easy to post. Time immemorial, you'll look back and you'll say, oh, that movie, screenplay based on a Stephen King book. He's written some amazing books. There's no doubt.
Yes, and I think that helps with the adaptations in general, is that something that was a book, you have the beginning, middle, end. Someone did a whole clear arc there that I think can translate well to a visual medium.
Mm-hmm.
Get the whole story.
And we shouldn't forget Jane Austen. You have a little Pride and Prejudice in here as well.
Yes, we do. She is in our classic section, and she's actually one of our last polls of round 1. We are finishing up that first round of voting, going on to our I can't remember what the basketball calls it, the 8.
The Elite 8.
The Elite 8, yes, we are about to move on to our Elite 8, and it will either be Pride and Prejudice or To Kill a Mockingbird. The other battle we're waiting on is The Shining versus The Godfather. I'm very eager to see how that one turns out.
Mario Puzo. You know what? I saw To Kill a Mockingbird, the play in New York City with Jeff Daniels, and it was the most bone-dry, boring Broadway play I've ever been to. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with P&P on that one.
I did it well, though, not for as specific of a reason.
So, as you get that, and the thing is, they try to have the alliteration of March Madness and Final Four and Sweet 16. Elite 8, of course, as pronounced, is not alliterative, and only you write it that way because they both begin with E's. So I'm not a big fan of that. But what is maybe the dark horse right now, and then what's the favorite right now of your last 8?
Of our last 8, let me see, because we actually had some pretty close battles. The dark horse, though, I would say right now it's Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights went up against Bridgerton, and that one was pretty close, but Wuthering Heights, I think that film, to what we were saying earlier, the power of those film adaptations, that film just came out, and I think it helped it edge. We'll see how it does with its second battle. The movie will be less fresh.
Are you more Emily Bronte like that, Wuthering Heights, or are you more Jane Austen?
I'm more Emily Bronte. Sure.
You like the umlaut over the E, don't you?
Yeah, it's just sophisticated, literary.
It's like holding the teacup with your pinky out, right?
Yeah, always. Are you not?
Well, the Bridgerton thing, On what is it, Netflix? That
Yes.
yeah. Now that's how much is that true? I'll raise my hand. I have not watched any Bridgerton, but how true to the original is it? If you've seen it,
You know what? I'm not able to say. I haven't seen it myself either yet.
Right. So, anything? I mean, we're talking about some real classics here, but as I look through, J.R.R. Tolkien, or as they say in England, Tolkien, the maybe what is it? The most recent one, Outlander or Dune. There are a lot of classics here. Is anything out in the last decade or last year, do you think, destined for this type of fame or not?
Oh, definitely. Especially within the last decade, there have been, especially there's the new blended genre that's become very popular. It's become a staple nearly, called romantasy, which is a blending of romance and fantasy. It's books that pretty much, they have the same romantic arcs that you expect in a classic romance, and then they also have the same epic battle arcs that you see in a fantasy. That genre is becoming a go-to. I believe it's actually one day going to get its own sections in bookstores. And with that, there is an author named Sarah J. Maas with a series called, it shortens to Outlander, but Court of Thorns and Roses. That took off, and I have not seen it slow down.
How close were you to a little, because we said we had Tolkien, how close were you to a little Martin and some Game of Thrones in this competition?
Game of Thrones is doing very well. It actually, it's done well in previous competitions. We've had it a few times. It's never been crowned the champion. But George R. R. Martin is, yes, not to be forgotten. They are winning against Dune, actually.
Well, and then this is maybe slightly controversial, but, with J.K. Rowling, she had the temerity of saying that if you have a womb, you're a woman, and she got a lot of hate for that. Is Harry Potter now, quote-unquote, controversial?
Oh, I think that is one of those that it's controversial to some people. It's like the what are you not supposed to talk about at dinner? It's become one of those things because you simply don't know where people stand on it.
Very good.
It's just personal.
All right, before we let you go, how can people follow along and watch this, Amanda?
Oh, please, yes. If you have a phone, we have the app. So look for the First Books app on iOS or Android, and you can get involved by starting an account. It is free, and we have $5 books that we would love for you to see and love for you to get. But if you just want to participate in Novel Knockout, that's fine too. You sign up for a free account, and you will start getting the polls in your email. You will wake up, do a nice little poll. You can pick which book you like better, and let us know.
Thrift Books, the Novel Knockout. We've been speaking with Amanda Cleveland. Amanda, thanks for your time, and a real pleasure talking to you.
Yes, thank you, Rick. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now, and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside my trunk? My hump, my lovely lady hump.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
All right, wrapping up hour one, we'll talk about the mystery of America's first baseball hero. It's called Death in the Strike Zone. It's a very interesting book by Thomas Gilbert, who'll join us in about 45 minutes. By the way, for the FIFA World Cup, the 11 NFL venues that will be hosting games have to remove all their branding, like AT&T, SoFi. We didn't have this problem last time. I guess the Pontiac Silverdome, I guess they let it be called Pontiac. Anyway, they have to cover it up with tarps, or they have to literally pull it down. And a lot of people are saying, we don't know if we're going to have time for that. And the FIFA's like, you can't. In other words, you can't have free World Cup advertising. You can't be playing a game at SoFi Stadium and seeing SoFi everywhere. They didn't pay for it. So there is one exception. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And they said, you got to get rid of the logo on the roof for all of our drone shots. They said, the games are in June. There ain't going to be a roof. We're going to retract it. And when we retract it, the Mercedes logo actually goes underneath. I'm sure Mercedes probably isn't happy about knowing why aren't we on top. But so FIFA said, okay. But Adam Fullerton is the stadium operator there, and he said it was 18 months of talks. So for a year and a half. Now, I went through almost 2 years of interviews, background checks, starting in 1992, to work at the World Cup in 94. So I started when I was 24 years old, and when I was 26, they said, okay, you can work in the media center, you have TV experience, blah, blah, blah. 18 months. You know, when we open the roof, you can't see it. Yeah, you got to get rid of it. What, a month later? You know you can't see it. You might see it. No, you won't. What about when you're opening it? No, it'll already be open. We'll let you know. So I don't know if all the other stadia are jealous or whatever, but I just wonder, like, the shock of people at SoFi. We pay a lot of money for those naming rights. Well, you didn't pay any money to FIFA, did ya? Huh? You should have brought your truck with you, did you? Jeff Foxworthy. All right, we got another 2 hours. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
With the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. Dom, alert the affiliates we're going long today. With all the college basketball that took place during the first weekend of March Madness, it's easy to forget about the other NCAA tournament, which usually takes place that weekend, March Madness, the culmination of the collegiate wrestling season. And there's a burgeoning rivalry between two of the most storied programs in the history of the sport that is looking to gain incredible intensity over the several years. Penn State University won its 5th straight NCAA team wrestling title over the weekend, its 13th in the last 17 years. With his success there, head coach Cale Sanderson has vaulted Penn State over his alma mater, the University of Iowa, to the top of the sports food chain. In doing so, Penn State also leapfrogged the other great power in the history of the sport, Oklahoma State University. The Cowboys have won 34 NCAA titles in their history, by far the most of any program, but their last one came 20 years ago. Since then, while always faring well and producing individual champions, Oklahoma State's program has lagged behind what Penn State has been able to accomplish in both recruiting and performance, which is what everyone has had to deal with. But for supporters of the Cowboys program, they're not everyone else. 2 years ago, Oklahoma State hired David Taylor, whose legendary amateur career included 2 national championships and 2 Danny Hodge trophies while under the tutelage of Cale Sanderson at Penn State. One of Taylor's first moves in Stillwater was to hire familiar faces, including Penn State assistant coach Jimmy Kennedy, as well as the school's club trainer and assistant coach Thomas Gilman. That was then followed by 3 wrestlers transferring from Penn State, which didn't please Sanderson. What also hasn't is Oklahoma State's use of early graduating high school seniors. During this past weekend's NCAA tournament, the Cowboys set a new record when 3 true freshmen won their weight classes to become national champions, one of which was Jax Forrest at 133 pounds. Forrest was arguably the most desired high school wrestler in the country when he officially signed with Oklahoma State in November. Because he had finished his high school educational requirements early, Forrest enrolled in college and immediately became a starting member on the Cowboys team. That particular break of traditional protocol has created controversy and brought into question if it's an ethical practice. Sanderson chewed on nails answering questions from the media after the tournament ended.
We're a blessed program, follow the rules, right? There's not a lot of that going on right now, and that's one of the reasons, we can sleep when the wind blows. That's, we train hard and do the right thing, do the best of our ability, and things will work out.
So there's obviously a lot to tackle on the administrative and organizational end of things, as there is in every aspect of collegiate sport. But there's also a silver lining, if not a golden or platinum one for a fan in all of this. Finally, Penn State has legitimate competition from a historical powerhouse, which can finally rival them when it comes to recruiting, training, and performance. Prior to Penn State's Levi Haynes winning the 174-pound final, his walkout music was Mama's Don't Let Your Baby Grow Up to Be Cowboy, Hank Williams Jr. A little bit of pettiness that I can appreciate. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. 4-minute warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? You just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it. Ricky T in the hizzle jizzle biznatch.
Thank you so much, and welcome back to the show. 2 more hours to go. You know, there are a lot of times when you think, oh, the bubble's going to break. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. Well, that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, when it came to America with Regis, was 1 night a week. It was 2 nights a week. And it's like every night, and people are like, all right, I've had it, and it's not on anymore. Will the bubble ever break for the NFL? I bring it up because it looks like the first game, not official, the season, when the Niners go to Australia, will be on a Wednesday. And that they also want to have a Wednesday day before Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving Eve, if you would like, game as well. So that would leave only Tuesday as a day of the week next year without NFL football. Do we want NFL football every night? I mean, for me, I've never watched Thursday Night Football unless it was the Raiders, and honestly, I always forget. You should admit that, Rick. You host a national show. Well, I'm just telling you. I come in Friday, and it's like, oh, yeah, the Titans beat the Falcons. What? They play. I had no idea those two teams were playing. So Wednesday, I mean, the NFL has already muscled in on the NBA on Christmas. Not 1, not 2, 3 games. They've already created a Black Friday game. So you'll have 1 game on Thanksgiving Eve. You'll have 3 games on Thanksgiving, and you'll have a game day after Thanksgiving. And we know when college football ends, they start playing on Saturdays. But I guess they feel that this is an unbreakable, steel, ironclad bubble. That they say, well, all the other sports play every night virtually. Why can't we play every night? When is the Tuesday game coming? So, what is it? Is it the MAC that plays on Tuesdays or Wednesdays? I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It is weird. All right, we got another 2 hours. Come on back.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar.
It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
My fellow Americans, let's bring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because the back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hour of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Tittle is back. He's so great. Can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Get in, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you, Dan, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Radio Network. We got a show tomorrow. I will not be here on Friday. Do you know about that, Dom? You're not working? So it'll probably be a rerun, I would imagine. Best of Tittle. I don't know if you guys ever notice. I never really take vacations or days off. I will not be here Friday. But no, you took a week. I'll take a week here or there. I haven't taken like a European trip since 2019, I guess. Anyway, don't cry for me, Argentina. Dominic Jimenez on the other side of the glass. I have a trivia question for you.
I have an answer for you, hopefully.
Yeah, you'll have many answers. This is something that a lot of people outside of San Francisco probably don't know, but a streak will be broken today. The Giants will have a starting left fielder in consecutive years. Elliot Ramos, for him, because he showed he's a major league player, but also the Giants have had a different starting left fielder on opening day since Barry Bonds in 2007. It's extraordinary 2-decade run. So I'm going to ask Dominic, who is a diehard Giants fan. No, I don't need the order. That would be too hard. But I want as many guys between Elio Ramos of 2025 and Barry Bonds of 2007 who have been starting left fielders on opening day for your San Francisco Giants.
This is one of those ones where you can't, the audience can't see it cracks knuckles. Okay, hang on. Let me get a pair of headphones so that I can hear you. In 1 sec.
All right. Dominic can't hear you? No, he can he needs to hear himself too when his microphone breaks. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Let's go Fred Lewis.
Very good.
Mark DeRosa. He's 2010.
Yes.
Aubrey Huff.
Yes.
Angel Pagan.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Pence.
Yep.
Andres Torres.
Yes.
Connor Joe.
Oh, there's Farhan.
Yeah. Michael Conforto.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 8. Nori Chika Aoki.
Wow, how do you remember that guy? Yes, Nori Aoki.
I featured him on my Forever Giant series already. That's how.
Okay.
Michael Morse.
Very good.
Or as Kuiper called him, Morris.
Yes.
It was not right for many reasons. Dave Roberts.
Very good.
Who else?
You're doing really well.
Oh, Orlando Bloom, Jarrett Parker.
Jarrett Parker, yes.
Yeah.
The big bat.
Pirate looking guy. Let's see, I'm missing more recent people too. Connor Joe and Conforto were the weird ones. It means the world to me. I love these sandwiches. Alex Dickerson.
Very good. Dickey.
Oh, another Dodger legend, Jock Peterson.
Very good. You're doing well. Can you get all of them? Well, let me see how many you need.
Yeah, I lost count.
Okay.
I had like 12.
You need 1, 2, 3.
Oh, shoot.
Only 3.
Oh, glasses. Oh, he was a backup catcher and a left fielder. Blake Sable.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
I never knew he was out there. Wow. 2 more.
I feel like I'm missing one of the ones from the... Pat Burrell.
You only need 1 more.
I was missing one of the early 2010 guys.
Only need 1 more.
Yeah, it's not actually going to help me, but can I get the year?
It might help. 2021.
Oh, it was really recent. Shoot. Got Connor Joe and got Alex Dickerson.
In your defense, I don't really think of this guy as a left fielder, but...
Oh, did Yaz start in left 1 year?
Not Yaz. Good guess.
Okay.
No, what I mean is I think of him more as an infielder.
Oh, well, that's problematic. There was one more guy.
Do you want his college? That might give it away.
Sure.
Stanford.
Oh, it's Austin Slater.
Austin Slater. All right.
Oh, you think of him as a first baseman because he played a lot of first.
There is Dominic Jimenez, outstanding, getting every guy, only a couple hints to finish out. I did not think you would make it. I did not think you would get Aoki. I thought you would forget about Jarrett Parker. I would have thought that you would forgot about maybe Alex Dickerson.
I'm up to the point, I think I've done 123 video features of guys from the 2000s, so some of those have definitely been on my mind in the last couple months.
Very good. All right, that's Dominic Jimenez on the other side of the glass. 1-800-878-PLAY. There's a funny ha-ha story coming out of Madrid with Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, of course, is one of the great players in the world, a World Cup final hat-trick. There are many things he can't do. He plays for La Belle France as well. But apparently he had a knee problem, and it got scanned, and the doctors said, it actually looks okay. And then he kept playing on it, and he's like, no, it really hurts. And they came back, and they're like, oh, yes, you have some significant damage in your knee. And he's like, why are you looking at this knee? He's like, what? They scanned the wrong knee. Bung, bung, bung. Now, I've had knee surgery twice. Both times, they wrote, the doctor who would be performing the surgery wrote with a black Sharpie on my skin, this one. And that was the first time. So 3 games he played on his injured knee, did Mbappe. But the second time I got surgery, which was last year or year before last, they came in, wrote on my knee, and then with everyone involved, anesthesiologist, the helper, nurses, men and women, the surgeon, there was video, and they said, all right, I am Dr. Richard Hatch, along with blah, 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 blah. We are about to perform arthroscopic surgery on the left knee. Do you agree with this? Yeah, it's all for the lawyers. So there's video evidence. You signed off on it. We have video. But, the internet's had fun with this. There was this guy from India. It's too funny. He's just this young guy with glasses, and he's got a big smile on his face. And he said, I just got treated for a sprained ankle by Real Madrid doctors, and he's got this massive neck brace. I mean, you're open for that type of stuff. But that's the thing. You can imagine Rick Tittle getting the wrong knee, and still that would be inexcusable. Kylian Mbappe, wrong knee. If that guy, and maybe an entire staff, but if that guy or gal is not fired, then they obviously know someone. Their last name is probably Laporte or Joan. What's Joan's last name? The Joan, the president of Real Madrid. Oh, wait, I'm thinking of Barcelona. Sorry. Who is it now with Barcelona? The president?
Give me a second. I'll think.
That doesn't matter. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, wrong knee Mbappe. That's his new nickname. Come on back.
Strange ways coming today. I put $1 in my pocket and I threw it away. Been a long time since the federal dime. The jukebox sound like a mirror in my mind. All my worries, fixed with thoughts. For my hopes.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in. It's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097. Do you have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book. The free guide to book publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time. Time that you could spend writing your book, or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now. 800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
Just go ask your mama.
Okay, that's it.
Hey, your mama is in here.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. When I was first following the United States men's national team for soccer, it was just a bunch of college all-stars. Nobody cared. And that's why... That's why now when we have players who actually grew up watching the Premier League, remember the Premier League came in 1992, started on cable TV, and now it's you can watch basically every game. It's amazing. From when I used to see my team once every 6 weeks, I would have to get up at 5 a.m. to drive to Almaden, California, south of San Jose, go to Britannia Arms and hope the satellite feed worked, and it was a lot of work. I want to talk about a nerd I am. In 1991, I bought a, not a wireless radio, that's redundant, a shortwave radio so I could get English soccer results. And then I had to buy red toppers or tabloids, and I would get the scores a day late. I know I sound 100. And then in 1994, my friend got this thing called America Online, which didn't really come into prominence until 1995. And he said, you can get the New York Times website, and they have same-day scores from England. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I can get the scores the same day. Now I sound like Abraham Lincoln. I understand that. Remember, George Washington never knew about dinosaurs. They weren't, quote unquote, discovered by Whitey until the 1800s. So I was the Georgian. I bring this all up because there's now, like you said, there are so many bad players. Now, just because these guys are going to teams overseas, American citizens go overseas instead of just grabbing guys with passports. But there are a lot of players who are foreigners who can play for America. And it used to be, when I was in high school and college, they were like U.S. servicemen who were stationed in Germany. They had a kid in Germany, and then the relationship usually failed. So the kid stayed with the mom, a lot of times mixed-raced, and they had problems with that. And so they're always kind of considered outsiders. Now it's not as bad. I'm not saying it's great, but they were completely German. Their mom was German. They were fluent in German, and their dad was from Nashville or Chattanooga or something. And so they qualified. You tried to get those guys. Or you get a guy like a Roy Wagerly, who was South African, but his wife was American. And so maybe he could get a passport if he was married long enough. I'm going on and on because there's a guy with the name Noah Kai Banks. I think it's a great name, Noah Kai Banks. And he was born in Hawaii. His dad is American. His mother is German. But he was raised in Augsburg in Germany. And that's the team he came up with, is Augsburg. And that's the team in the Bundesliga that he plays for now. He is a 6'4" center back. Any team would love to have this guy. And he has been in USA camps, the under-18s, the under-21s, such things. And now the team is looking at him, saying, you know, we might have you. Now, in his mind, he would much rather play Mannschaft because that's what he grew up with. That's where all his friends are. But so this is why Mauricio Pochettino, who I love, the Argentine head coach of USA, Noah Kai Banks now says, I don't know what I want to do. So he turned down the invite to go to camp. It's 35 guys at camp. He turned down the invite. And he says, I'm still trying to make up my mind. He's 19 years old. So Landon Donovan was on a podcast. Our Landon Donovan, our best ever player, at least for what he's accomplished. I mean, you can look at what Clint Dempsey did, and you look at what Pulisic is doing right now in Serie A. I mean, you could make an argument that it's Pulisic now. But anyway, Landon Donovan, bless his heart for winning a cup with San Jose. Well, let's be loved out here, and bless his heart for that. The Algerians in South Africa 2010. We were going out. That last goal, which he scored, then we won the group. That goal, win the group or go home. Crazy. That's how it worked. But anyway, Landon Donovan scathed on Noah Kai Banks, and he said, and he was very, he was very proper. He said, look, he's 19 years old. I wish him nothing but the best. I have nothing against him. It's his decision, and I support it. But if you turn down going to camp, then he said, good riddance. We shouldn't have to beg people to come. Because Pochettino told Banks, hey, we're here if you want to say yes. And he said, that's just what the Federation wants him to say. Well, why wouldn't they want him to say that? Does it kind of suck that he's not like, oh, Uncle Sam, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba? Well, I mean, I don't really care. You have to understand where he's coming from. It's like people who got all bent out of shape over Eileen Gu. And Eileen Gu is the best at her sport ever in the Olympics. She's also drop-dead gorgeous, and she's highly intelligent. Now, is she a little bit full of herself? Whatever. I don't really care about any of that. I don't care that she picked China. This is different. Kai Banks is not born and raised in San Francisco and went to uni high. He's from Augsburg. He just happened to be born in Hawaii with an American dad. And yeah, you could say, do you want to come? I don't know. Germany may want me, so I don't want to come just yet. You don't have to form the rosters just yet. And so at 19, he does. This is the thing with FIFA. Once you decide and you play a full international, you're locked in. You can play friendlies. You can play under 21s. When you play a full international, in other words, like Gold Cup, European Championship, any of those, Copa Libertadores. Once you lock in, you can't switch. You can't be Alfredo Di Stefano and play for Spain and Argentina. No. he was with Real Madrid so long, and they go, "Aren't you kind of Spanish now?" And he goes, "I think I am. I think I'll play for Spain now. I can just stay here, not to get on a boat back to my native Argentina." Right? So Landon Donovan is super pissed. And I think this all kind of goes back to, you know, I don't know if it's anti-millennial or, you know, we've had these situations before where people are like, you know, kind of pouty. We've had some pouty stuff happen, but, you know, Landon Donovan is the guy who had a beef with Klinsmann and missed the World Cup, and so we had to pick Mitch Diskerud from UCLA, who went instead of Landon Donovan. And I'll always blame both of those guys, Klinsmann and Donovan, for not making up. But, you know how when people chime in on something that they don't really know about and you've been following the whole time? This is like for me with Tottenham now, when Alexi Lawless will say, "It looks like Tottenham doesn't care." I'm like, oh, hot take alert. Or Ian Dark. Yeah, look, Tottenham players are quitting. Oh, have you been watching since October? Anyway, it just kind of bugs me when people chime in. And Alexi Lawless has gone out of his way to be incendiary and sometimes be a jackass as well. He'd probably admit that he's a jackass. Friend of the show. I'll have him on anytime, and we'll talk it out. But for Landon Donovan to lose his mind because this kid won't commit, I get it. I do get it. And I love the fact that Landon loves the team so much. But I am patient. Maybe not this World Cup cycle. If he decides that he doesn't want to commit, and then there's no guarantee the Germans are even going to pick him. It's much harder to play for Germany, than USA. It's 100 times harder to play for Germany. It used to be 1 million. Now I'll say 100 times harder. But if he comes back at 23 years old, 6'4", starting center half in the Bundesliga, you didn't commit, so we don't want you anymore. Now, just have some patience with this kid. That's what I say. All right, we'll talk a little old-time baseball on the other side.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keeper off my property.
If you're thinking about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
All right, thank you for that. I guess welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast, around the globe on the American Forces Network. There is a very cool new book. I'm holding it up here for the camera on YouTube and twitch.tv. It is entitled Death in the Strike Zone, The Mystery of America's First Baseball Hero, available from Godine Publishing. And we're now joined by the author of that book, Thomas W. Gilbert. Thomas, welcome to the show. This is a fascinating topic, and as much as baseball lifers like myself, we like to think we know everything. I did not know about James Creighton and maybe the inventor of the curveball, probably for the first 100 years of baseball, regarded as the greatest pitcher ever, and yet died at 21. So, first of all, welcome to the show. Take us back to the days of him and the Brooklyn Excelsiors and how baseball was at that time in the late 1850s, early 1860s.
Sure. Well, it was it was baseball. If we got into a time machine, we went back to say 1857 or 8, we'd probably think we were looking at some type of softball because there was a diamond, there was 9 players, there was 3 outs, and all that stuff. But people didn't use gloves, as they don't in some variants of softball, and they threw underhand, and they didn't throw very hard. The pitching rules kind of kept batters under 50 miles an hour, and they were pitching from 45 feet away. So it was a hitter's game, and you had crazy scores like 30 to 20 and 40 to 30. Everything changed when Creighton came along, and the fascinating thing for me, and the reason I wrote the book, is if you read baseball history and you study it, you know his impact, which is immense, and you know what people thought at the time. But he's been forgotten, as you said, and it's strange because I argue in the book that he's more or less the reason why we have a strike zone in baseball.
It's pretty amazing. And, of course, the term pitching came from pitching horseshoes, right? The underhand movement, right?
Yeah, so the pitching rules, when Creighton came along, he first pitched in the summer of 1859. They were basically designed to handicap the pitcher who was supposed to feed the ball to the hitters. And, again, there's certain types of softball where you see that kind of dynamic. So he's throwing from 45 feet away, but he has to keep his arm straight, and he has to put dead underhand, and he can't snap his wrist. That was the effect of the rules. And, that keeps the velocity way down, and all the pitchers could really do was throw slower than slow or locate. But, again, they gave up rafts of runs. And the big breakthrough, and one of the big mysteries of Creighton was, what did he do to suddenly be able to throw twice that hard, make the ball curve, he totally dominated batters. They had no weapons against him. And at the time, people were looking at it, didn't totally understand it, but we do know that there are accusations that he must be cheating, and all those were decided in his favor. So people who were on the Baseball Rules Committee and prominent baseball people at the time looked at what he was doing and said it's legal. So part of the job I had doing this book is to figure out, well, what was he doing? And we have a few clues, but I think what he did was he was the first player to train with weights, and that was part of it. But he basically figured out that pitchers used to run up to a line and flip the ball forward, kind of like they used to do in cricket. They still run up, but they used to do it underhand. He figured out a way to do one thing that modern pitchers do, which is close his front hip and shoulder and then open it violently and quickly to get torque. And I estimate in the book that he was throwing the equivalent of a low hundreds. And these are to batters who are used to seeing 40 or 50. And, well, I'll ask you this question. What would you do if there was no strike zone, umpires calling balls and strikes, and somebody came like Aroldis Chapman? And I think the answer is you wouldn't do anything. And that's what happened. And that's really what got the ball rolling towards the strike zone. Batters just didn't swing.
You know, a lot of players at that time would also play cricket, and as you know, when you're bowling with cricket, your arm has to be you can't break your elbow, and that keeps the velocity down and basically bouncing it in as well. So it's interesting that simultaneously that these players are playing these two different sports.
They did. In those days, it was very common that people played both. One of the ways one of the sort of metrics I used to figure out how great an athlete Creighton was, he wasn't a very big person, but he took up cricket basically because cricket paid. Baseball was amateur. And in 1860, he just took it up as a novice. And at that time, there were people trying to promote American cricket, and they were just hopelessly uncompetitive with England. And Creighton immediately becomes the bowler in North America. He actually gets picked up by an English club that excluded Americans. So that's he's a Bo Jackson, he's a Jim Thorpe. He also is a Shohei Ohtani and a Babe Ruth because he was a great player too. Just an outstanding athlete.
All right, let's talk about the curveball, because when he started throwing it, people said, you can't do that. That's cheating. That's illegal. And so they had to bring people out, and they would look at it and be like, I think that's actually legal. What was the scrutiny like?
Well, it's funny because curveballs today are thrown by snapping your wrist, and that's what you couldn't do in his day. And what I figured out, and I was sort of drag kicking and screaming to this conclusion because I wasn't looking to prove that at the curveball, even though some people said it in the 19th century, that's not a common idea. But when reading enough descriptions of what his ball did from hitters that faced him, you realize that he was throwing what they call a riser, because he had exquisite control. And batters would say, I can't know if the ball's going to come in really fast at the knees or if it's going to surprise me jumping up into my face. It's an upside-down curveball because he's throwing it dead underhand. And I argued that the way he did it was by strengthening hands and fingers with weightlifting. He actually was, one thing we do know is that he practiced throwing an iron ball over and over again. And you can actually, this is actually done in some types of softball. Without snapping the wrist, you can use your fingers to put curveball spin on the ball.
So what happened at 21? The report were that he, quote, died playing sports. That's very vague.
Yeah, well, you brought up cricket, and that's actually relevant here because people have trouble believing this, but cricket was thought it was going to be our national sport for several decades, and baseball was sort of an up-and-coming sport that was native to America and saw itself at its level as being cricket. And so Creighton's playing both in the 1860s, 61, and 62, and then in 62 he dies suddenly, and there's all confusion about what the cause was. And even modern historians have got it wrong. If you Google it, you might well get a crazy story that he swung at the bat to hit a home run and he burst a bladder or something internally and died, and it's total baloney. We know exactly what happened, which is that I mentioned his delivery involved a lot of. Well, he had a hernia, an inguinal hernia, and which was worsening over time. You can actually trace games where he doesn't start or he's leaving early because he's not feeling well. And in October of '62, he leaves a cricket match early, and then a week later plays baseball and is carried off the field and dies 4 days later. And it's gruesome death. What happened was he got some tissue caught in the inguinal hernia, and people used to die from this, and then infection. Really nasty way to go, and it does not happen anymore. But the idea is, he was born with a hernia? I mean, it's a common thing. I have one. Why did it progress to killing him? And it has to do with the weightlifting and all the torque he was putting his body through. So it's not really an exaggeration to say pitching killed him.
Why does the Hall not? I mean, if you think about a guy who the first guy to throw gas, the first guy to throw a curveball, there would be a statue. Was it because it was so long ago and he only was there for a couple years, or why is it? I mean, why you don't even know about him if you didn't write the book? Why is the Hall not recognizing him?
Yeah, well, the numbers is part of it. There's no good numbers to really use to argue for him. Then there's the really short career. But, it's funny. If we went back in time, it would have been obvious to people that he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I think the biggest problem is that the Hall of Fame, this is obvious, it focuses on Major League and professional baseball. And Creighton died before professional baseball existed. Now, the one thing is they did in early greats who were pioneers of the game. I think they should have put Creighton in for his impact on the game, but they didn't. And I don't think they, in 1937 when the Hall opened, I don't think they took the job that seriously of dealing with early history. I found out one thing in the course of my research that's very ironic, which is that I found a letter from the early 30s, and it's the guy who, he's not famous, but he was the one who thought of the Hall of Fame. And he's discussing it with Major League Baseball, and in this letter he says, well, the first thing we'll do is we'll admit all the greats from the early game, the pioneers, people like Jim Creighton.
And they said, no, we're good.
And the Hall of Fame is a whole big can of worms, but they never really dealt with, I don't think they ever really took it seriously. I mean, you could argue it either way. To me, they sort of shoehorned some early greats in by putting them in under other categories, but they could put him in, and I think they should, but I think there's no really good reason why he's not there. And, of course, if he had a plaque on the wall there, more people would have heard of him.
The book is called Death in the Strike Zone, The Mystery of America's First Baseball Hero, from Godine Publishing, and from our guest, Thomas Gilbert. Great book, man. Congratulations. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a break and come on back on the show.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now, and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is. No cleaning, no showings. There are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a pill. With one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
Over time, the more and more you do, the better you get at it. Just like, you didn't become this excellent at radio overnight. You know exactly when to say we got 1 minute left.
Right. Because I'm so good looking.
Yeah,
Right.
you got practice makes perfect.
You must be crazy. Use a DOG. And if you was my man, I would have been kicked you out of my house by now. This is what had happened.
All right, hour 3 coming up. There's a woman here in California that has filed a restraining order against Puka Nakua, claiming that he bit her and made an anti-Semitic remark when they were hanging out this last New Year's Eve. The complaint said the woman was with Nakua and they were at dinner, and Nakua yelled, "F the Jews." Nakua's attorney Levi McCatherine says Puka denies these allegations in the strongest possible terms. We'll be filing a defamation lawsuit and pursuing all available legal remedies in response to these false and damaging statements. A completely sober witness stated unequivocally that Puka never made the comments. So the bite is not being contested. He said that it was playful. The woman has gone and sold a picture to TMZ. All of his teeth are in her back, this big circular. That does not look like a playful bite unless you're into some real rough, crazy stuff. McCatherine said the office was contacted demands of millions of dollars in exchange for not publishing these allegations. This is not a legitimate claim. It's blackmail. He said the timing of the claimant's recent legal action, nearly 3 months after the alleged incident and just days after Jackson Smith and Jigba's record-breaking contract